Hey there, my name is Renee Prince. I'm a clinical practicing herbalist, specializes in critical care. I was raised servant-hearted, food pantry, medic, yada yada, have a big school, and I'm also a traditional healer. I live in Asheville and I live in Florida, and I'm in Asheville right now and have been for months. And I am reporting on the relief work and what I see on the ground because there's so many mixed messages and because people are asking. So today we were in, um, we were in weird places today. Today we did supply pickup and delivery. In the past couple days, we have delivered in different places for first responder type people that needed medical supplies and other things that they did not have. I have a lot to say. And so I'll try to keep it limited. So the very most important thing, and I'll say this at the end that I want you guys to know, is I will be back in Florida within 24 hours and be doing a pickup. I'll definitely announce that. I also will be releasing an Amazon list and a basic list to all of the social media platforms. And this is what everybody has said that they needed. And this is like the most general. And these lists for everybody are evolving, which is something that I kind of want to talk about. So we're seeing a lot of people that are getting really upset with things like the FEMA stuff and misinformation about people who have passed away and stuff like that. And what I want you guys to think of is that a lot of it is misinformation because of necessity. So the idea that roads are blocked off or not blocked off, they say they're blocked off, but they're not. What they mean is it's so very dangerous to travel on it, and so only the homeowners should be traveling on it, things like that. And then the people who have passed away or the people that are missing, this is going to be an ongoing thing for maybe even a year, no matter what anybody says, because I know what I have seen, and we're not going to recover the remains of people who have passed, period. So until they locate all the possible places they could be to determine that they did not leave, they can't account for them. And so until they talk to the people that are their people, or until they find them somewhere else, they can't account for them. We're not going to find them. We're having huge swaths of debris taken away and dumped and or burned. So they're just frankly not going to. And so I think that that's important to understand, that it's not necessarily people trying to hide something, it's people who just like legitimately don't know. And then the FEMA crew and the military troops, they're doing their best, but their hands are tied by bureaucracy. So as I said before, the most effective qualities we have had, and it's something that I want everybody to just like live and die by for the next year, is the personal people, the community, the relationships have saved everybody. That us working together, we are truly on a barter system right now, and that I needed I needed this tangible item. Here, I'll give you an example. For these doctors, I needed some cleaning material, I needed herbs, I needed needles, I needed formulas, and they weren't at a place that I could get them. And I went to Golden Needle Supply and gave them a list, and was able to then get them to the places that are hard to reach and get them exactly what they needed in their hands at the time that they needed it. So the idea that then Golden Needle knows I'll bring back to them something that they need, or business, that's truly how it should work. Whatever we're best at, we should trade at, and we should take care of each other. So if we have extra of something, we should trade it for what we need, and that's how we get balanced out and there's no waste. So truly, we had to go to this terrible tragedy to remember that the old ways work. We didn't get billions of people on the planet because herbal medicine doesn't work or because bartering doesn't work. The old ways are alive and the old ways work. They're strong. The tradition and the old ways are what we're standing on the backs of to look towards the future for what we need. So just like dig into that as we go forward. So the past couple of days we've done supply and delivery, which for me was a welcome relief because I had to hit a wall with this emotionally. And so the idea that we were able to help and support with emotional care and physical care some of our fellow workers and rescuers, and somebody who's going to be like in the trenches front line and be able to give them trauma medicine, that was so relieving, as well as we delivered them their safety gear and what they needed for a new group of people coming in. So that was amazing. The other thing I want to point out about that, they came in the night, had nowhere to be housed. It took just a few seconds to call around before somebody was willing to have them on their property without ever knowing them sight unseen. And that kind of attitude needs to stick, that is what's going to help us in the future. And it really is sucky that it takes something like this to happen to remind us of how easy it is to give and be kind. But that really is what the past couple of days has been. I've been overwhelmed with the, not only the generosity, but the idea of, if I just thought something that I needed, it appeared in an hour. I gave away the last of my X, Y, and Z over the past 24 hours. So just think about things like Narcan, EpiPens, needles, things that were like super, super important. Like if I didn't have Benadryl and an EpiPen, we were in trouble. And I just had faith and gave it without thinking, and immediately had what we needed show back up immediately. And that's something that's profound. So remember that the old ways are alive, and you can manifest anything if you have the heart and the hopes and dreams to believe that it's going to happen. Period. Mountains can be moved to the side, and not theoretically. They can actually be moved. And so just remember that as you go about your day, thinking about what your hopes and dreams are for yourself and others. So that's where I'm going to stick with that one. So the only other thing I wanted to report on, something that we saw that is going to come up in conspiracy conversations, and just like you got to know the real thing, is as we were going from like Swannanoa, Black Mountain, actually like think out farther west towards Cherokee. So we're going from like the front end of Maggie to like into town to Asheville, crossing over Asheville, going by Swannanoa, Black Mountain, turning and going up past Marshall, Burnsville, and then what we would be going into Weaverville. As we did that, we could see this haze out in front of us. Like we could watch the air quality change. We could see this haze out in front of us that was like, what's that? And we realized that they're beginning to have burn piles, and not little burn piles at houses, but like mass burn piles, which so many things started going in my head. The first thing is like, oh dear God, like what if somebody's remains were in there? Which, okay. And then two, oh dear God, fiberglass, treated lumber, plastics, and everybody's housed outside right now, and it's cold, and they're burning wood just to stay warm, and they can't breathe well already because of the mold. And then like, oh my God, the contaminants that are on those things because they're covered with everything that washed down. And so as we're thinking this in unison, silent, like we're silent, which you guys can tell I'm not a silent person, I'm very chatty. And so as we're thinking this silently, driving into this, one of us says, like, what the hell? But I guess there's nothing else to do with it, but that's a new added layer, and I'm going to add to that in a second clinically. So then we drive completely out of it and into Weaver, and can turn around and look backwards and see it. And so anybody who can hear me that's in these areas, please buckle down with the masks and any breathing help that you can get. Please be very, very diligent with the breathing, and please find me if you have breathing issues, allergy issues, mold issues, and need herbal care for that. We have really good remedies right now that are helpful, that will just open your airways and then help with contaminants or help with any kind of like fungi type of growth going on. And that seems to be, that's the next thing I was going to say. That seems to be the real thing. But with that, what we were getting today, we were noticing, so it was like day 2 of that we were getting like tingling and burning on our faces, redness underneath our cheeks, our lips just tingling, redness in weird places. And I know it's just exposure. It's just because we're walking in and out of these. Now we're at a threshold. Our bodies are at a threshold, and now they're starting the burns. And so, hit me up. I'm gonna, when I go down to Florida, I'll be getting the certain plant that is basically like a emergency inhaler. That's how we use it. We use it for asthma. And so I'll get a bunch of that and bring it back, and we'll have it brewed up and ready to go. And you can usually use it in a spray, just like an inhaler kind of. And so just personally message me or find one of the other big herbal groups, and they'll be able to find me. Like Red Moon Herbs will be able to find me if you can't get me. And so like, just know that I'm going to collect some cedar while I'm down there and get back here with it as quickly as possible, as well as the supplies. So there's that. So please watch your breath and your breathing. We hold our sorrows and our tears in our lungs as well. And so you can imagine like what's about to come down the pike. And so keep your masks on. That's something that's really important. So don't let people tell you that that's not happening. That's happening for sure. The next thing is the water. So please, like I know, like congratulations to our workers that are trying to get things up. The water guys, the plumber guys, the linesmen, the garbage men. The garbage men have started rolling again. Like thank God, because that's just disease-ridden crazy that would go. And so I don't want to be critical of that, but I do want you to understand something. The parts that are getting our water back and everybody's so excited, yes, I'm very, very excited to be able to flush a toilet if that happens, because that's disease and waste that we can be exposed to and we don't have any way to wash it off. But let me be very, very clear. The water's unusable. I don't mean boil unusable. I mean unusable. Like muddy clay water from a churned up river. That's what it is. So as far as I'm concerned, I have water to flush toilets only if I have water. It's not for anything else, not even washing hands. It's not for bathing, it's not for washing hands. And I'm saying that because I don't want everybody to lose sight of the fact that this is a marathon and there's still unhomed, many unhomed people, many unhomed people, and many people with zero and loss of life. And getting government or news reports about how everything's coming back together, I made a promise to all of you not to show pictures of what's going on because I'm not going to perpetuate the negative. I'll run you a video of how everything's getting back to normal. If you really want to see what it looks like, you just have to hit me up and tell me. I'll give you a personal message of it, a direct message of it, because it is going to be PTSD for everybody involved in the best circumstance for a while. Helicopters going over, brush piles higher than the cars, broken everything everywhere, mud everywhere, our hopes and dreams in piles on the side of the road that are being burned down, and your best scenario. So don't let the news, the local news, tell you that everything's great and the water's back on. It's unusable. Like I'm using bottled water to dump in my hair and on my face and to wash my hands with. And so like think of that. Like that's, yes, I'm so amazingly grateful for the flushing of the toilets because it's so dangerous to not have our waste gone. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure you knew that. And then the other thing, like I'm gonna leave you with this kind of thing. We are such resilient creatures that 2 nights ago, I think, because I don't even know what day it is, but 2 nights ago, we were as a family unit, as practitioners, and as the school, my school, 4-Element School of Traditional Medicine, we were supporting a gathering in the River District, which is really hard hit, and people lost many years of their artwork, their livelihood, their cars, their homes, like everything. They lost their ideas, they lost their hopes and dreams. The tangible material was a representation of their hopes and dreams, and we cannot retrieve that. And we were doing a benefit type of thing, and we were providing free care, if, just whatever. It doesn't matter if it's toe fungus or trauma. And the resiliency, but also just the constant tears and constant, 20-mile gaze. And there were several people that I just sat and spoke with, just listened to them. And that was it. And just the act of us being together as a community was the medicine. And so I don't want you guys to lose that focus, and I don't want you to lose that focus in your own place, with your own people. None of them I knew, so you understand, they were all strangers. So it's not like friends walking up and talking to me. It was just me trying to provide care, our practitioners trying to provide care, and the idea of us coming together. And to second that, Red Moon Herbs, it was just an herbal company that's fabulous, makes strong medicine. It's just amazing. Here in Asheville, they have been doing come here for anything, we'll give you anything, clean water, bathrooms, a hot meal, and we've been doing care there. And it's the same conversation. I don't even know if we all know why we're there, but the fact that we're there together and it's just a shared bit of smile and normalcy is the medicine. And so I want you to remember that for your own well-being and about like really counts in your life. And so don't look away. I always tell everybody, be a ministry of presence. Like, you don't have to have anything to give that's a tangible thing. Don't look away. Have eye contact. Smile. Don't look away. Be uncomfortable. Fight through it. I have an herb for that. I have an herb for anxiety. Let me know. Fight through it. And like, open your heart. Don't look away. That's like huge. That's a massive, massive medicine. Again, billions of people on the planet. We got billions of people on the planet before allopathic care, simply because we knew how to stay in community and take care of each other. And so that's something that I want you to remember, that the old ways are alive, and don't look away. Be a ministry of presence. Be the change you want to see. So the very last thing I'll say, because everyone's asking, by tomorrow, we will have an Amazon list, not only for herbal things, but for the coldness and the change. We've gotten lists from all over each area from the stations of what's the most important things, what they do need and don't need, and we're going to put together that list for sure. And we already have the list together. We just have to, it's just difficult to get it on an Amazon. Like, we have to find every single thing and list it. So until then, I'm going to make a post on all the social medias of the lists, not with the Amazon link yet. And I'll give some shipping addresses at the end of them. And so just hold on if you want to just hit that button on Amazon to send it. And those will be distributed amongst several places that are all the places I talk about. So Marshall, Burnsville, Swannanoa, Black Mountain, Chimney Rock, Fairview, Fletcher, Maggie, Canton, Candler, Weaverville, Cherokee, all the way down, Junaluska, Cherokee, anything like that. Any of those places. I don't think I left something out. Hendersonville's not as bad off, but I'll take down there if you need. I think I got them all. And so those are the ones that I took specific lists from, and I can tell you exactly where it's going if anybody wants accountability on that. So I can show you exactly the hands that they went into. Some of the asks are big. That's all they are. Just disregard them and do what you can. And if you can't, that's fine. Pray for us if you pray. Light candles if you light candles. Send good energy if you send good energy. Whatever you have to give, don't look away. Give that. Give your presence. Just smile and be happy for us and send us energy, because we're kind of tired, which is fine. Like, this is a blessing. It's a blessing to be in service and to be able to help. And I almost feel guilty at how good it makes me feel to be able to comfort someone. So I think that's it. Okay. So my name's Renee Prince, 4 Element School of Traditional Medicine. And those lists will come right after this. Thank you so much for listening. If you need any personal information about any of the areas, I will try to get it to you. Direct message me, because I will not spread someone else's pain across our social media unless it's necessary to get them help. And so thank you so much. Have a good day.